on this episode of Around the Thorn.
I want each of you to describe your love life in one word. It's like he didn't want to have sex with her, so he was like, I'm piecing. I think I'm gonna...
Caroline, can I steal you? Can I steal you for a sec, right before you make your decision?
Welcome to Around the Thorn, a Bachelor breakdown podcast. Tonight, we would like to invite you to join us for an amazing podcasting experience. Waiting just a Zoom call away is our host, who is searching for someone to share the rest of her podcast with. Fortunately, 5 eligible co-hosts will be arriving any moment to prove their Bachelor knowledge and romantic insights. Our host will have 3 rounds of questioning to determine who that co-host could be. Speaking of which, let's meet our host, Caroline.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caroline Avedon, and I am a rising senior at Syracuse University. I am from New York City, and I am so excited to be talking about The Bachelor tonight, especially with the finale happening last night. I have 5 special guests with me tonight. Each one of them will probably bring some ridiculous statements that I can't wait to listen to and boot them off as I please. So why don't we meet the boys? It all starts right now. Matthew, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Matthew Kaufman. I am a sophomore, almost done with my sophomore year at Dartmouth College, and I'm from New York.
Teddy.
Hi, my name is Ted Wolf. I'm a recent graduate of Tulane University and biggest Bachelor fan out there, and I can't wait to defeat all of you.
Subtle. Michael.
Hey guys, Mike Federici. I go by Mike. Mike's fine. I'm a sophomore, rising junior at the University of Miami, and I'm from Jersey. We call it Central Jersey where I'm from.
The armpit of America. Okay. Jackson.
How's it going, guys? I'm Jackson. I'm soon to be a sophomore at the University of Miami, and I'm from Indiana.
Where in Indiana?
Central Indianapolis.
My very good friend is from Lafayette.
Purdue.
Exactly. And Paul?
I'm Paul. I'm a sophomore from Texas and an avid Hannah B fan.
An avid Hannah B fan. That's controversial.
You know it.
All right, so we're going to start out by asking each one of you the same question, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say because it's a personal one. I want each of you to describe your love life in one word. Scary, right?
That's a tough one.
Let's start with Jackson. How would you describe your love life in one word?
Searching.
Searching. I'm dead. That's funny. I understand that. How about you, Matthew?
I'm gonna go with distance right now, for obvious reasons.
Ted?
I'll give you 2 words, bad timing.
Bad timing. That's a tough one.
Sounds like you were working on something.
Paul?
One word hyphenated, corona stricken.
Wow. Seems a lot of people are having environmental issues currently. It's situational.
Step out of here.
Michael?
I'm gonna go with loading ... Currently in progress. Don't know how we're gonna finish, but we got a couple options.
Right, okay. And if I had to describe my love life in one word, I would probably say just plain old complicated. So now that we've met all of you, I think it's time for our first round, which is a cocktail party in the spirit of The Bachelor. So the first question, as of last night's episode, is tell me about your reaction to Matt and Rudi splitting up. And do you think Matt and Rudi are going to get back together? Because I think there's a lot of tea going around with that as of right now. So let's start with you, Michael. What did you think?
All right. Well, I got a lot to say about Matt. Honestly, I mean, I think he had a right. He was right. Being honorable, being honest is always important. But I agree with Rudi in that you don't bring someone all the way to Nashville just to talk it out. And I'll bring up some quotes here. The I can't get there. The I'm doing this for you, and I just don't want you to hate me. All things that I've probably said to girls.
Probably.
Knowing that there was an ulterior motive. So, do I think that they're gonna get back together? Probably not, but nonetheless, it was a TV stunt, Matt, the whole bringing them to Nashville just to break up. I think both of them knew before that they weren't getting together, honestly.
Yeah, and I think also he was just spitting bullshit to her, just trying to make up for his mistake. He was like, I care about you. I love you. Like, you've been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, like, fuck out of here. All right, how about you, Ted?
Well, I think it's pretty clear and well documented that Matt has some pretty serious commitment issues, so the viability of him and Rudi, I think, should have always been in question. And obviously, we saw Rudi fall a lot faster for him than he did for her. And I think his whole decision to wait till Nashville, I don't think it was very fair to Rudi. And I think he knew from the very beginning that that Bachelor environment wasn't conducive to him. I mean, everything's very compressed and feelings develop fast in Bachelor world. And if you know that's not going to work for you, then I don't think you should even entertain the process. And I think him and Rudi probably won't get back together, especially given this whole Corona situation. They're probably not in the same place. But I do think they are a couple that in the real world, without the constraints of, the whole Bachelor production process, could they work? For sure, but not as it stands now, and not within the confines of a Bachelor show.
I feel like they're two people who genuinely needed to get to know each other in a real world. I agree with you, because it was, to me, they were the best singing wise.
Oh, of course.
With this odd season of The Bachelor, but it just felt like it was forced. The whole thing was just uncomfortable, I think, for everybody. But I don't know, Jackson, what do you think?
Well, what I think that Matt seems to obviously care about his feelings more than anybody else's. And I see it just wasn't mashed, I guess, for the whole Bachelor scene. I think that a lot of that stuff can be figured out like behind the scenes, but I think it's more of the it being put out on camera just kind of makes it more difficult to put those feelings forth and kind of to be real. And I think it makes it a lot easier to be selfish in a sense.
Yeah, or just be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for the sake of your personality, via the world rather than, just versus that specific person. I
feel like it's like, the cameras are rolling and you don't want to be the guy that's on TMZ the next day being, a dick to the girl on national television, which apparently I'm pretty sure The Bachelor is like the #1 watched TV show in the country, which is a whole other topic of discussion. But yeah, like, you don't want to be that. You want to be like, I care about you. Like, it's not you. It's me. Like, shut up. No one believes you. I mean, I didn't really like Rudi either, but that's not my, whatever. Anyway. Paul?
I got 2 words. Blithering idiot. Everyone from Central Connecticut I've ever met, not so smart. This guy, this is not a normal Bachelor show. At the end, you don't got to get down on one knee and propose. Chris and Bree weren't totally there yet either. So he was like, I don't see myself getting there right now. It was like, dude, you are in Nashville right now with the chance to sing, which is your dream. He likes her. He's never like, I didn't like her. So you don't have to get down on one knee and propose at the end. Just give yourself a chance to sing. Like, from what I understand about this season, it's like about like growing your love through the music or growing your love and then making the music better. So it was like, you're here in Nashville already. You like the girl. You just don't love her right now. Give yourself the opportunity to sing, and if that makes the love connect a little more. Like, you saw Chris and Bree, they were kind of struggling, and then they sang, and then it brought everything together. Like, why do you gotta send yourself home 2 days before the final performance? Like, you don't gotta propose at the end. Just give yourself a chance, and if it's still not for you, like, you can walk away.
And I feel like also, why did he have to do that to her? Because you're making a decision for 2 people. You're not just making the decision, because, like, it's not like one of them can stay.
Yeah, I mean, he totally was just like, peace, I'm out. It wasn't even like a conversation. Like,
it's like he didn't want to have sex with her, so he was like, I'm piecing while I can.
Total Central Connecticut move, that's what I'm saying.
Boarding school vibes. Kidding. Matthew?
I completely agree with Paul. Like, I think 2 things about Matt. One, he's just not cut out for the Bachelor process. Like, as a part of Bachelor Nation, like, we know you gotta fall hard and you gotta fall fast. And Matt, like, in his conversation with Rudi, he just completely clammed up. Like, you could tell he wasn't, like, he didn't want to reveal his feelings on national television, which, like, I get, but if you want to be on the show, you can't do that. And then, like I said, I agree with Paul. Like, I don't understand at all why he couldn't at least like work things out with Rudi to just be able to sing on stage. Like, that's a sick opportunity, and they just completely like messed it up. I just don't get it. I mean, I think part of it is that Rudi was just like way more talented than he was.
He's just not that likable of a guy. I don't know. I feel like he's
awkward,
not personable, and he's awkward, and like everyone was sick of him. But I mean, I find Bree and Chris awkward too, so I don't really. They're just an uncomfortable relationship. Well, now that I've heard all of your opinions, unfortunately, It's time for the rose ceremony. How do you feel about that?
Nervous.
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 Very nervous.
Quivering.
So I only have 3 roses to give. And there's 5 of you. So, the first rose goes to Ted.
Thank you. I'll gladly accept this rose.
The second rose goes to Michael.
I accept this rose. Thank you so much.
Only 1 rose remains. And I'm looking at the 3 of you, and you all gave great answers. And I'm sad to have to say goodbye to 2 of you, I really am. But I think I'm gonna have to give the rose to Paul.
I will gladly accept this rose.
Jackson, Matthew, I am so sorry, but I'm gonna have to say goodnight. Thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Desserts.
Okay, boys, how do you feel?
Relieved.
Just grateful to be in this second round.
Yeah, whew.
Second that.
It's definitely getting easier.
I have way more hot takes, so I was hoping I'd make it.
Okay, well, now that the hard part is over, we are going to go on a group date.
Okay.
This group date consists of a pretty hard question, and it's more personal than the other ones. And I'm excited to hear your responses. Few things are better than true love. Name 3 things that are.
Name 3 things that are.
Better than true love, and we're going to start with Paul.
I just got put on like the hot spot right there. Like,
Be
I need
really
to get a chance to
careful
think.
with this one, yeah, buddy?
Yeah, no, you could take a wrong step right there really easily. All right, I'll go with a New York Knicks championship. We've been waiting a long time. Bring it home, come on.
You're going to be waiting till the end of your life, but you're not getting one.
This is my true love, not yours. Next, I'll say the state of Texas, hook 'em horns. People from around the country you don't understand, but we got the best barbecue, we got it going on. And then finally, I'll say make sure my mom's not around alcohol intoxication.
Your true love is alcohol. He's a keeper, ladies.
It's hard being stuck home from school, you know, like
I understand.
with the family. It's been 2 months. So those are my 3 takes.
All right, wow. All right, Ted, how about you?
Well, I gotta start off with a very cliche one, but I gotta say friendship. You know, we're in this time where we're very separated, and I can't think of anything that I'd like to do more than get a bunch of people together and celebrate like old times. So that's my number 1.
Social distancing.
6 feet.
I'm saying at the appropriate time.
I think we gotta disqualify him because that's not allowed right now.
I wouldn't be opposed.
All right, we can take a vote.
All right, let's settle down, everybody. Number 2 here, I'd have to say a beautiful sunset or a beautiful sunrise. You know, you can't beat those. And I guess number 3, I would say I have to say the podcast.
Oh, he's an ass kisser.
Yeah, I got you.
That's weak. I try to be honest out here. That's weak.
Yeah, I'm having a great time here so far, so it might be better than true love by the end of this. So we'll see, Paul.
All right. Michael,
All right.
how do you top that?
I've had some time to think about it, but I could have gone first, I'll be honest.
Right.
When you're with your boys in a 4v4, last 4v4 in a COD match, you clutch up for your boys 1v4, that's a pretty great feeling. Better than true love in some cases.
You do know you're talking to a girl.
Yes, I know. And if I'm in a relationship with you, you're probably going to have to respect that.
Right.
Number 2, I'll go with the feeling of a brimless cap. One more time. I know I showed you before, but the feeling of a brimless cap on your head where you get the airflow behind, it's key.
You kind of look like Caillou, that little kid show.
I've gotten it before. That's why I had to grow out the mustache.
Right. Because that's going to help.
Like Caillou.
Yeah.
And my third thing, when we're not in quarantine playing pickup ball in the park, you catch the ball and someone else yells, shooter. As in, you know.
No,
you can
I got
shoot.
it. Thank you.
Word. Okay.
I do know what you meant. I'm just questioning what the fuck.
All right.
Your true love.
You asked.
Right. Okay. Should I say mine? I'm kind of curious about my own.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
curious.
you really don't know what's gonna happen until it comes out of your mouth, and you're like, oh, whoa.
Okay, what are my 3 true,
No, more than true love, not true love.
Yeah, you said more than true love.
You're right. Better than true love. You're right.
Exactly.
Okay. Fuck. Like a dog. Any dog. I just want to cuddle with a dog. I want to touch a dog. I want to look at a dog.
Or the sheds.
I don't give a shit.
All right.
Right, especially in these quarantine times. Dogs are the homies, although apparently they can get corona. I think that's bullshit, but whatever. French fries. If I'm being honest, I eat more French fries than I eat any other food. So I would say that's pretty better than true love. Because, fuck a boyfriend. I have French fries, I don't need true love.
With a sauce?
Like ketchup. I don't know if you would call that a sauce.
Yeah, like a...
I think that might be a condiment. Right.
Don't use those.
I'm not mixing no mayo with ketchup, that shit's nasty. I
agree.
Nasty. And then the third thing would probably be shoes. So I guess I'm shallow.
Me too.
Right.
Sounds like we're perfect for each other.
Okay.
No, French fries say character. French fries definitely say character.
Okay, wow. I have a hard decision. On one hand, I have the honesty, and the other hand, I have, what a girl wants to hear. So where do I go? I only have 2 roses for this rose ceremony.
Caroline, as Chris Harrison would say, I think you should listen to your heart on this one.
Wow. Ted, you really got me with that one. That was a good one.
That was weak.
Nice dad joke over there.
That was a bad, that was already a bad name for the show, and
Oh,
that just
Paul
made it
is
worse.
shooting shots over here. Okay.
You know what? I gotta go to bat for Bachelor Nation and spit out their catchphrases when I can.
Would it help if I had a dog?
I can get a dog.
You don't have a dog?
Well, it's not with me right now.
He's a little toy poodle. He's a little white toy poodle. His name's Gucci. You'd love him.
His name is Gucci. You'd
Damn
love
right.
him.
Dude,
Don't get brainwashed by
No,
Gucci.
no,
He
let her
said getting
think, let her
cold
think
shoes.
about
All right. Settle. Okay. So I have 2 roses. This is actually a hard decision. You all have given me good answers, and I find you all very entertaining, actually.
Thank you.
Oh, God. The first rose is going to go to Paul.
Oh, I'll gladly accept this rose.
You better. Okay. And then, oh God, I'm low-key actually conflicted, guys. Oh, fuck. Is this what The Bachelorette feels like?
Probably.
But it must be worse, because she's actually supposed to fall in love, with the workout master from, Chicago. I think I'm gonna...
Caroline, can I steal you? Can I steal you for a sec, right before you make your decision? I just wanted to tell you that
Are you gonna steal her? Are you gonna steal her in the cocktail party?
I'm starting. I want to steal you for a sec. I just want to let you know that I'm starting to fall in love with this podcast. Just if that changes anything.
Come on.
I think I can get there by the end of this.
Can we get Gucci in here?
Fuck! Okay. I think I'm gonna have to give the rose to Ted.
Oh, thank you so much. You can't take it back now.
I'm so sorry, Michael. It's been so fun having you on.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I loved it.
Have a good night.
Good stuff, Michael.
Bye, guys. Good luck.
Bye.
What are you gonna do? I'd like to take you guys to chapter 1 now that I'm out. Chapter 1 of the Book of Misogyny, of course. From the streets did she emerge, and to the street she will return. And I say unto you, she is for the streets. So be not weary when she must return from whence she came. Bible of Misogyny 4:14. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Then there were 2.
All right, ladies. Let's get cracking, all right? It's a 2-on-1 date. Get your game faces on. Hard-hitting questions. Let's start with this bitch, Jamie. I don't really like her at all. She fucking annoys me. But I don't know if you noticed, she has a heart tattoo on her hand. In your opinion, is it attractive for a girl to have tattoos? Or is it kind of like, you're dirty and gross? Be careful, I do have tattoos. But I want your honest opinion because if you lie, I'll know. Ted, let's start with you. What do you think about it?
So what I'm going to say on this point, at least for me, is tattoos are not a deal breaker for sure. But if you have them, I'd rather have them be kept small. Maybe on the, the hands is a good spot. But it's not necessarily something that I'm attracted to necessarily. And I think tattoos are, in my opinion, generally not my favorite thing in the world. And that's just my personal opinion. I know everybody has their own taste, but it's not necessarily for me. But if it's just on your hands, like the way Jamie has it, it's not something that would necessarily deter me as a deal breaker.
But isn't like the heart so cliche?
It's so cliche, but you also have to consider the fact that Jamie's young. She's 21.
Oh shit.
She might have been on a drunken night out on in Nashville on a Broadway street in Nashville, gone out for a heart tattoo.
She's dead ass a baby.
She is a baby, and that brings up the question if she's really ready for love or not. But that's not what we're talking about. So I think the heart tattoo is if she was in her maybe 30s or late 20s or even 40s, I would be very concerned about that. From my perspective, how mature really are you? That's so basic, a heart tattoo, come on. But, she's 21, so I think we got to cut her a break here and, let her be.
I see your point.
As rambling as it was.
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
All right, so I'll take the flip side from Ted. So I think it really depends on the tattoo. So like you said, it was a cliche, it's a heart tattoo. If it's not unique like that, to me, that's just bad judgment and that's not attractive. You're just trying to fit in with the crowd and, that's not great for me. I don't find that attractive. But if you're, trying to create a tattoo, put something on yourself that's, an expression of yourself and, is unique, I actually think that's pretty cool. My roommate, grandmother, was a poet. When she died, she wrote, a 4-word poem for him, and then he got it tattooed on his thigh, and I was like, that's, really cool. Everyone that sees that, and trust me, a lot of girls that see that think it's really attractive. I'm like, hey, that's, a pretty cool thing. It's got a good story to it. If she's like, yeah, I'm just was drunk and night out and got a heart on my wrist, I'm like, that's just bad judgment, and I think that's unattractive. So I think it's really about how you do it and if you make it unique. And on a whole other thing, Jamie wears way too much makeup. The heart tattoo was just the start of I was like, I'm not here for it.
I feel like she gives me not to rip on my girl, but she gives me just white trash all around. You wear too much makeup. And also she's always lovey-dovey. She's I'm so in love and he's the best, and then she's well, all my boyfriends have cheated on me. It's bitch, no wonder, because you're annoying.
Yeah, you're kind of oh, you're that girl. You kind of get the judgment of who she is in real life.
Yeah, she's she wants to cry baby, and that's how she wants people, and it's so I just don't know if I gotta put my heart on the line. It's shut up.
No, I'm on the same page.
That's how I feel. But she did the deed, though. She did the deed. They really went in on the fantasy suite.
They did really go for it. But I feel if I'm a Bachelor contestant, that's how you gotta do it. You gotta leave no regrets.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
On the topic of doing the deed and the fantasy suite, let's talk about Chris and Bree for a second. Because last night, they just weren't feeling it. They didn't want it, and they agreed that they weren't going to do it and that it wasn't good for their relationship. So is being too slow intimately as dangerous as being too fast? So, is sex important in that situation? Is kissing important? That kind of stuff? Because, for me personally, if I'm going to answer this question, I feel going too fast in the initial is a problem. You don't want to, they always say don't have sex on the first date. But at the same time, you're performing, you're doing all this shit, and you're not gonna have sex? You're not gonna see what's good? What happens if you have sex 8 weeks down the line, you hate each other, and it's awkward, and it's horrible, and you don't want to be with this person anymore, and you're on tour in a tour bus? I don't know. I think that whole thing was a little stupid in my opinion, but that's just me. But how do you feel about it, Paul?
I'm gonna go with you and say I don't understand either. I said, you're on The Bachelor, you're going to a different city every week. They've been together for 7-8 weeks. You watch Bachelors across all the seasons, and I'm not saying if you don't feel comfortable and you want to be true to yourself, I respect that completely. That's your choice. But I feel you're on The Bachelor. You put yourself out there, you went big, you go big or you go home.
You're already there.
Yeah, she's out there saying, I love you, but you're not willing to have sex. It's then how realistic is this situation? So, you really don't know.
How much do you actually love them?
Yeah, it's then what's for show and what isn't.
Agreed.
So it's if you're gonna share your life with the world on TV, go big or go home.
I hear you. What about you, Ted?
Yeah, so I think, Chris and Bree, their whole logic on this was that they didn't want to take things too fast and that had complicated them in previous relationships. But I'm assuming in those previous relationships, they had jumped in straight into the physical right away without building some sort of connection first. But as you said, in this scenario, Chris and Bree have clearly formed a very strong connection. And if they're not going to be physically intimate, then how are they supposed to know, whether their chemistry lines up, whether they're compatible together? I mean, as you said, 8 weeks down the line, what if they finally have sex for the first time or whatever, and Chris or Bree is just not satisfied, or they're into things that the other one isn't into, and that's a very big part of a relationship. And looking long term of marriage, this is the rest of your life. If Chris is, let's say, a vanilla in the sack, then Bree's stuck with that for the rest of her life.
Yeah, it's like you want to fuck like a granola bar for the rest of your life.
Right, and if you're gonna make this serious commitment to this person, you gotta take him for a test run first. And they obviously have this clear connection, so I don't really think they were at risk of moving along too fast. If anything, they were moving along too slow in this regard. And it showed on stage, at least in the first song, where they didn't seem quite as together as Jamie and...
Yeah, the first song was so awkward.
I mean, they had even said it themselves. I mean, robbing themselves of that experience had maybe kind of made things not even awkward, but taken away from the bonds they might have shared afterwards. And I really think it ended up, even it didn't hurt them in the long run, but it could have hurt them in the short run. I mean, because Trevor and Jamie, they're not the greatest singers, but they really showed that connection on stage. And, I'm sure their night in the fantasy suite played some role in that. So I really think that Chris and Bree really should have taken that opportunity to consummate things.
I totally agree. I think you look at this show and it's like there's a singing show and there's the Bachelor show. And like, I think where you draw the line between the Bachelor and real life is the fantasy suite. And that's like, is this for real or is this isn't? And they kind of were like, we're going to stay in this like weird world where we're still trying to get to know each other.
I feel like it's also whack because it's like they're trying to like from a logistical standpoint, it's like they're trying to incorporate like American Idol with The Bachelor.
Yeah,
and it's like, I get what you were going for, but like, I also don't get it because it's like you can fall in love with someone in a superficial way if you connect with them singing. That doesn't, I'm sure if you're a singer, you connect to people. I mean, I'm tone deaf, so I wouldn't fucking know. That just seems stupid in itself, but that's for another day. So I've heard, you have something to say, Ted? You got a little spit there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that important of a point. I was just going to say that, kind of going off your last point, I think, although this was a great quarantine watch, I don't think it's going to be a mainstay in the Bachelor franchise. Once we get the Bachelorette back and the Bachelor back and Paradise back, I don't really think we're going to see much demand for a return to this program.
Yeah,
so.
I think we agree on that for sure.
It had fewer views than Bachelor in the Winter Games, which really says something.
The big question is, will any of these contestants go into Paradise when it reopens?
Great question.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I feel like they're all kind of, like, I'm going to be honest, just on a superficial standpoint, they're all kind of ugly, so I feel like it's not fun.
Well, they're not as attractive people in Paradise, but I originally thought that might make it better. Like, we have these more normal people, who don't have, like, 1 million followers.
You're right, okay.
That's definitely the angle they're going for with Claire Crawley. Like, they're trying to show the more, like, normal person. And the other thing I was going to say is, like, you're not special on this show because everyone can sing, but all the Bachelor contestants or Bachelorette contestants that show up can sing, like, that makes them just a little bit hotter. So in Paradise, like, if you're showing up with your guitar and you can jam out, like, you stand out a little more. They don't stand out in that regard in this show, but, like, when they show up in Paradise and you're, like, in that swimsuit jamming out on the guitar, you're going to be like, all right, I see it a little more.
All right. I mean, I agree with you. But unfortunately, I have to pick one of you to bring to the fantasy suite. And honestly, I've loved talking to you both. Loved hearing both of your views. And I think you both have great points. And honestly, like, this is a hard decision, guys. And I'm really choked up about it, to be honest. But I think I'm going to have to listen to my heart. And I'm gonna have to go with Paul. Ted, you gave some amazing points, and I loved having you on the show. Thank you so much for being here. And, hopefully there's a future, and maybe we'll cross paths another time.
It's been a great journey for me so far. I really found out a lot about myself, and I just feel a lot more ready to go into my next Bachelor podcast, a lot more open-hearted. So thank you for that. And Paul, I wish you guys the best of luck in your future. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks, dude. You're a real class act.
Thank you so much for being here.
Likewise, Paul.
Have a great night. Paul, how do you feel?
I feel fantastic. On top of the world right now.
Yeah. Wow. You gave some great points. I've loved bantering with you. But now I'm done with the questions, and we're just going to have a little chat about the whole thing as everything all together. I think we both agree that the episode was I felt it was kind of bland. I was bored by it. Not the best finale I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I honestly couldn't agree more. Like, I was mostly, not even was it bland, like, I was like, give me the drama, give me the passion, like, give me, like, the
I wanted
staples of-
someone to, like the sex was shitty and she freaked out, or like...
Yeah, like, give me some Luke P type shit, yeah.
Literally, give me it, bro.
It was confusing. Like, they were trying to, like, I was like, do you win here by being the best singer? Do you win here by being the best couple? Like, what's the goal here? Like,
I feel like the goal of the whole show is kind of clouded. It's like, are you the best couple? Do you have the best voice? Are you the best duo as, musicians?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Because if in that case, Rudi and Matt would have won.
Like, I look at it and I'm kind of just like, someone watched A Star is Born. I don't know if you've seen that movie. Like, someone watched A Star is Born and was like, I want to make a TV show about this.
Good hash.
Like, what you're really missing is, like, the guy like dies at the end of Star is Born, like, and this show died at the end. Like, that's my only take. Like,
yeah, that was it.
Just lost some steam.
I don't see a second season happening, to be quite honest.
I don't either. I think this was really lucky for Bachelor Nation, just because, like, they really ran into trouble with quarantine, weren't able to film Claire's season. But, like, and even the people that are high on this now, like, when Paradise and everything rolls back around, this is going to be a long afterthought.
To me, it feels like it was the theater kid's dream for The Bachelor. That's what it's like. Oh, fuck yes. Like, it's like Glee. It literally feels like Glee. Holy shit.
Except I liked watching Glee.
I can't relate because I'm not a bitch, but I understand.
That's alright. Wow, that's a tough blow.
Hot take, but I don't fuck with Glee. But, like, it's just like, we're gonna sing and we're gonna fall in love and we're gonna go on tour, but also, wait, just wondering, who the fuck listens to country duos these days? Like, it's 2020. Like, I'm sorry. You're from Texas. I don't know, maybe you have some of that in you, but we're from New York, baby. We don't fuck around.
I'm totally with you. I was watching them, like, drive into the sunset, and I was just like, you realize that you're just gonna perform for every 16-year-old girl that's so obsessed with The Bachelor no matter what. Like, anyone that actually has an appreciation for music, like, has really no interest in this show.
I don't know. I don't see Chris and Brie hitting the charts. I don't see that happening.
I also really don't see them hitting the charts, but then, like, you think about it more and you're like, what kind of dictates the charts? And you feel like the force more than anything. Like, you look at Justin Bieber's, like, 12 to 16-year-old girls, and that's the Bachelor's demographic right there. So, like, anyone that's got a real taste in music, like, I feel like you do, like, that's not for them. But, like, the mainstream music, like, I listen to the radio nowadays, I don't even know what's going on, so.
Well, that is a topic for a whole other podcast in itself. But, Paul, I must ask you, am I worth fighting for? Will you join me on the next episode?
I will gladly. I had so much fun, and I can't wait to continue this journey.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for participating, and we loved having you.
All right, thank you for having me.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. All right, guys, that was it. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys tune in for the next tea-filled, bullshit-filled episode. Night.